She called 911 on me for letting my baby splash in our own pool. Within an hour, police were in my backyard. My 6-month-old daughter was crying in my arms, and a stranger was accusing me of child endangerment. That phone call nearly destroyed my family, and what we later uncovered about our neighbor's secret was darker than anything I could have imagined. It was supposed to be one of those perfect summer Saturdays you hold on to for the rest of your life. Michael and I had finally scraped together enough to buy our dream home in Oakmont Hills, the kind of neighborhood where every lawn looks like a golf course, and the HOA sends out gentle reminders if your trash can sits out a few hours too long. We'd been there 3 months, still riding that wave of pride every time we pulled into the driveway. And that weekend our daughter Lily was ready for her very first swim. She was tiny, round-cheeked, with a laugh that could heal the worst day. We put her in a little yellow duck float, and Michael eased her into the water while I filmed every second on my phone. She giggled at the shimmer of the sun on the water, her tiny hand splashing her sun hat tilted over her eyes. It was perfect. Until the voice. It was sharp, cutting through the air like broken glass. "Are you trying to baptize that thing in sewage?" I spun around, and there she was, standing by the fence like some villain out of a bad movie. Perfectly coiffed blonde hair, beige pantsuit in 90-degree heat, and a glare that could curdle milk. Karen Miller. I'd waved at her a few times since moving in, never got a smile back. I didn't know she was the chair of the HOA Beautification Committee, and honestly I didn't care. But at that moment, she decided to make us her project. Michael tried to keep it calm. "Ma'am, this is our daughter Lily. We're just enjoying our pool." Karen's lip curled like she'd tasted something rotten. "That thing does not belong in the water. Babies are filthy. They carry diseases. You're contaminating the entire water table, and I won't have my roses poisoned because you people don't respect standards." My chest tightened. "It's a chlorinated saltwater pool. On our property. It has nothing to do with your roses. And her name is Lily." But she wasn't listening. Her eyes were wild, her voice dripping with venom. She sneered about diapers, about loud music, and people like us dragging down the neighborhood. She wasn't just policing pool water, she was policing who belonged. Michael's calm cracked. He lifted Lily out of the pool, handed her to me, and told Karen firmly, "This conversation is over. Step away from our property line." That must have been the ultimate insult because her face went beet red. "You think this is over?" she hissed. Then she pulled out her phone, fingers stabbing the screen. "We have rules against biohazards, rules against child endangerment, and I'm about to make sure they're enforced." And then I heard it, the beeps of 911. The air went cold. She turned her back to us, putting on the performance of a lifetime. "Help. Please, you have to help me," she sobbed into the phone voice, shaking with fake terror. "My neighbors, they have a newborn and they're being reckless. They're letting her flop around laughing while she struggles to breathe. I think they've been drinking." My jaw dropped. Lily was still pressed against my chest, safe and warm, and this woman was painting us as drunken monsters. My hands shook as Lily whimpered into my shoulder. This wasn't a feud anymore. This was an attack that could take my baby away. Minutes later, sirens screamed down our quiet street. Neighbors peeked through blinds, some stepping onto porches like it was a free show. 2 officers came into our yard, one older, measured the other younger, tense hand near his belt. Karen rushed toward them like she was the star witness in a courtroom drama. "They took her out of the pool when they heard you coming. They're trying to cover it up," she cried. The older officer held up a hand. "Ma'am, step back." He turned to us, his eyes scanning me, clutching Lily Michael's soaked swim trunks, the duck float still on the patio chair. "We got a call about a child in distress. Can you tell me what was going on?" Michael introduced us calmly. I said, voice shaking, "I'm breastfeeding. I haven't touched alcohol in over a year. There's lemonade on that table. That's it." The officer sniffed the pitcher, nodded. Still procedure meant they split us up and interrogated us right there in our backyard while Lily sobbed. For 20 humiliating minutes we were suspects in a crime that didn't exist. And when it ended, the officer's words chilled me more than Karen's screams. "We see no evidence of endangerment, but because of the accusation, we're mandated reporters. A file will go to Child Protective Services. Child Protective Services, CPS. Just like that, Karen had weaponized the system against us. That night I couldn't sleep. Every knock at the door made my heart lurch. Every ring of the phone felt like doom. When CPS finally came, the inspection was invasive, degrading. The social worker rifled through our home, checked smoke detectors, opened our fridge, even examined Lily's tiny body for bruises. I held back tears while my baby cried in a stranger's arms. At the end, the worker said we had a safe, loving home and the case was closed. But it didn't feel closed. It felt like something had been shattered. For days, Michael and I fought about what to do next. He wanted to move on, to let it go. I couldn't. I saw her face every time I closed my eyes. I kept thinking, what's next? What if she doesn't like the smell of our barbecue or the sound of Lily's bike one day? Will she call 911 again? Invent another story? Keep using the system as her personal weapon? I wanted to run, to pack up and leave. But then I'd look at Lily, sleeping innocent, trusting, and I knew leaving would mean Karen won. That thought lit a fire in me. So we found a lawyer. Mr. Clark wasn't polished like the others we'd seen. His office was cluttered with files, his suit wrinkled, his eyes sharp. He listened to everything, every detail, without interruption. When I finished, he tapped his pen and said, "She didn't just slander you. She used a state agency as a weapon. This isn't just harassment, it's a civil rights violation. But we'll need proof. People like her usually have skeletons." He was right. A private investigator dug through Karen's past and found it 5 years earlier she'd had a pool in her backyard. Then suddenly it vanished. No demolition permit, no city records. Satellite images showed the pool 1 year, then a churn of dirt, and then pristine grass. What happened to it? The answer stunned me. She'd had it secretly filled with construction debris, toxic waste, asbestos, lead paint. She hadn't just hidden it, she'd created a sinkhole of poison under her lawn. And suddenly her obsession with contamination made sense. She wasn't just hateful, she was terrified. Our legal up-to-code pool could have drawn inspectors, exposed her illegal dump. So she attacked us first, trying to brand us as dirty, reckless, unfit parents. It wasn't random malice, it was projection. And it nearly destroyed us. With ground-penetrating radar scans and testimony from contractors, we built the case. The images showed her backyard was unstable, a slow-motion sinkhole threatening our property. At the deposition, Mr. Clark set the trap. He asked casually about city code on pool demolition. She squirmed. "I don't recall," she muttered. He slid satellite photos across the table. "Does this refresh your memory?" Her mask cracked. She admitted she'd had the pool filled. When pressed about permits, her lawyer tried to object, but finally she broke. No permit, no clean fill, just garbage buried under her manicured lawn. And then came the knockout. Our expert's report showed stress fractures spreading toward our foundation. Mr. Clark leaned in. "Mrs. Miller, your illegal fill is decomposing, creating a sinkhole that threatens my client's home. You accused them of endangering their child when in fact you endangered this entire block. Isn't that true?" Her composure shattered. She sobbed, rambling about how she couldn't afford repairs, how her son's company had made it disappear at night with truckloads of waste. That was it. The HOA queen bee who called the cops on my baby was now exposed as the real danger. The city declared her property a hazard site. Investigators found asbestos lead solvents in the soil. Her son faced criminal charges for illegal dumping and cover-ups. She lost her position, her reputation, her power. I didn't celebrate. I didn't cheer. I just stood there remembering that day by the pool when my baby's laugh was stolen by hate. Karen thought lies could bury us. But the only thing buried was her secret, and it rotted until the truth broke it wide open. Some people think power means controlling others. The truth is, real power is refusing to let their lies define you.